no, we are not. But the problem is the K7 of Common Core is not serious. And therefore, they cannot place algebraic delay as they originally promised or implied. And the biggest sufferers will be the disadvantaged minorities. This is what the California numbers show. Because they are the biggest cohort that benefits from this high expectation that is held from early on. And this Jim Miller mentioned it yesterday. By the way, when I say held, it's not that you are asking crazy content demand in grade 1 or 2 or 3 because somebody asked this question yesterday correctly. Well, are we asking too much or are we asking too little in second grade or first grade or kindergarten? And the answer is Common Core asked for the wrong thing. Not too much or too little, but for the wrong thing. So we asked to do certain things in a certain way and explain it the way we want them to explain it. Many of them are not able at that point yet. Some of them are, many are not. However, we don't let them study what they can study. Memorize the multiplication table, handle the process, the procedures. Not the explanation of the procedure when you are in kindergarten. That can wait a couple of years, You can do, effectively, commutative or associative property with concrete manipulative without calling it this name in third grade. There is no reason to push the highfalutin talking. Talk about being able to do it, not talk about it. And kids can do it. They sometimes cannot get all this reasoned explanation. Why what I did was actually bad. But you know what? If you answer 10 questions in a row correctly, I know that you didn't do it by chance. One, sure, who knows, 50-50. 10 in a row, you know what you're doing. Maybe you have difficulty to explain. Let me go to another thing. I mentioned I am an engineer. I've spent 30 years in Silicon Valley around engineering offices, engineering tables, a lot of foreign immigrants, a lot of foreign engineers, very few American raised, American born. Many of them came and finished with a degree, but elemental education often was not finished. So I was excited when I heard about the new generation science standards. I thought, well, not a bad idea, time to do something about American education. And then I saw the National Research Council framework, which is really the template for the standards, came afterward. And the framework was not, let me read it. The overarching goal of our framework of K-12 science is to ensure that by the end of 12th grade, all students have some appreciation of the beauty and wonder of science. Appreciation, first goal. Possess sufficient knowledge for what? For science? To engage in a public discussion of related issues. Not to know science. Sufficient knowledge to engage in a discussion. A careful consumer of scientific and technological information. Consumers, not creators. This is a framework to create technology consumers. This is not a framework that was intended to create technology developers, technology creators. And indeed, the new generation science standard followed the prescription of the framework. And here it is. That's what the NGSS says. The NGSS do not define advanced work in the sciences. Based on the review from college and career faculty and staff, the NGSS form a foundation for advanced work. But students wishing to move into STEM fields should be encouraged to follow their interests with additional coursework. Okay, so NGSS said we are just the basics. Okay, you can live with it. Not very aggressive, not really competitive with the world. You care about competition and the world is a reason for changing standard. But you can say, okay, but here is a Fordham Institute looking at the actuality of this NGSS standard, not their claim, which is already low level, just the basic. And here it says, the review, that the NGSS fails to ensure that all students are equipped with sufficient content to make real the option of taking more advanced courses in STEM disciplines. In other words, go. It's not only that they did aim high, they don't even deliver the base. You cannot use it as a stepping stone for further study, even if they prepare. Ohio graduation required today requires 3 units of science. Life sciences 1, physical sciences 1, and advanced science 1. Well, for the review, found specifically that the regarding Ohio happened to be content in the considered judgment of our reviewers is largely missing from NGSS. Guess what? The NGSS is weaker than today's expectation for everybody, not for STEM, for everybody. So, my conclusion is, they promised not too much, they delivered much less. And there is a question that was raised here last November, because I stepped in front of you then. Well, if you're right, and all this is kind of dumbed down, how come the tests seem to be tough? Kids are complaining they cannot make it, scores are terrible, only 30% are passing in some states. I mean, how can it be? And it was echoed today and yesterday the questions too. How can it be? Easy. Easy. Because the test is not asking about, show me what you know, as the gentleman here asked a moment ago. Because that would be the proper form of a summative assessment. Show me how much is 2 plus 2. Show me how much is sine of x divided by something. Fair. However you want to do it, just show me the answer. No, that's not our new way. We want you to show the way you reach this thing, and it better be our way or the highway. Now, you think I'm exaggerating. Now, I certainly use a flippant or cliché. However, I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what Linda Darling Hammond, who was the major mover and shaker behind Common Core and now behind Smarter Balance, she said, we want the assessment to shape instruction. She said it explicitly, that's the purpose. So they're not asking, tell me how much is 2 plus 2. Common Core math is very elaborate in the list of examples in some cases, not all cases. So let me give you an example of grade 1 standard Common Core. Add and subtract between 20, grade 1 standard. Sounds okay, right? If that was the standard, what's wrong with that? It goes on. Demonstrating fluency for addition and subtraction between 10. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Focus on 10 and 20 is a max. Fine. Oh, use strategies such as counting on. Okay, so that's one particular way they will go to test me. And that's clear because that's what the assessment company said. We use these guides, these hints, this guide. Oh, and making 10, e.g. 8 plus 6 equals really 8 plus 2 plus 4, therefore it was 10 plus 4, which really equals 14. That's part of the standard example, but that's exactly the hint to the test writer. That's how you write the question. You don't ask how much is 8 plus 6. You make sure that the answer is by breaking into making up to 10. But that's not all. Decomposing a number leading to a 10. E.g. 13 minus 4 is 13 minus 3 minus 1, which is 10 minus 1, which is 9. They tell you how we want you to do it, not tell me the result. But they are not done with the standard. Sorry, the standard goes wrong. Using the relationship between addition and subtraction. E.g., and that's not enough. And creating equivalent by easier unknown sums. Again, e.g. In other words, the standards are not about what. They are about the how. And that's exactly how the test writers are going to enforce instruction. That's what Linda Darling Hammond clearly said. I want to change instruction. I don't want to test how well you taught him to add or subtract. I don't want to teach you, testing how to avoid those fractions or conversion between fractions. Speaking of which, they forgot about conversion between fractions. Small thing. Fractions and decimals and percents are forgotten in conversion between them. Each one is developed, no conversion. But that goes just to haphazard way to put it together quick by inexperienced people. The question was asked, which expert should we trust? There are so many external experts. Everybody comes with his expertise. A fair question. Well, I suggest look at people with track record. We have had standard written in this country for the last 15 years or maybe 20 years at least. Many of the people, the leading figures in standard writing, assisted, advised in multiple stage standards. You heard Jim Milgram yesterday. One would assume Jim Milgram had so many good standards, he would be one of the people selected to write the framework, the common corridors, national standard. Nah, they selected people that are unknown. They had no track record, no other education, no in standard writing, which the exception of Phil Darrow, who had experience in standard writing, he has a major in English. Anyway, does that show? The point is, check people with experience and trust them, because they did it and they know how not to do it. Common Core was written by people without experience, without record, without publishing in education space before Common Core. So maybe that's half of the answer. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.